You want to see what a strange conundrum I am having? My old Craftsman drill press, years ago when I first got this, and I'm talking 25 or 6 years ago, this is what it is. You know what? There might be something under here. I should probably... No, I'm looking for the model number, and I cannot find the model number anywhere. Not under here, nothing. Not on the back of this, nothing here. The reason I'm trying to find the model number, I lost the chuck key to this, and it's never been a good chuck. But in my other drill press, remember that little cheap, junky Craftsman I bought? And it had so much run out, you could just see the drill bit doing that. So I replaced the chuck on that other one. And I replaced it with this. And this is a really good chuck. Really good. No run out at all. So, since I lost the chuck key on the other one, this one doesn't require a chuck key. You hold on to this with one hand and this part with the other hand, and you can adjust it and tighten it up. So it's a really nice chuck. So I was going to replace this. And you're supposed to have this slot. Okay, let me back up. When I first got this thing used to fall down, this tapered section here used to fall down out of this all the time. And I would have to move the table away and then take a hammer, a mallet, and give it a couple of good whacks up this way to get the taper up in there to stick. Now, I cannot get it out. And in moving, I broke this a long time ago when I moved here. It's just sort of hanging on. I can fix it, but it's not a big deal. So normally there's this slot, right, on this, that you use this tapered wedge, and you go in there through the slot with this tapered wedge, and you give that tapered wedge a couple of wraps, and this will fall down out of here. But there's no, hold on. Well, guess what? My light is completely dead. There's no slot, nowhere. Nowhere is a slot. So I've tried tapping on this from the side, both sides, trying to get it to release. And then I got brutal, and I got my air chisel, and I tried going between this and that, trying to get it to pop free, and it won't. Now I'm just totally, my only option is to really just take this completely apart, or maybe to heat this up with my torch. Now, I don't mean cherry red. I mean enough to make it expand, and then try to wrap that again and try to get it to drop down out of there. Or maybe I could even use a heat gun if I could find it. I lost my heat gun. I have no idea where my heat gun is. So that's a weird conundrum. But what I'm out here to do, I was going to wait until I got my wife's new headlight before I started taking this apart. But I think I'm going to do small stuff. Like I probably will take these brackets off, and then when I get the new one, put the bracket on the headlight and then bolt the bracket down, because it's just easier to get to those two bolts and to get my hands in behind all the wires. So I think I'll take this apart, and if it doesn't look too like something that's going to be really complicated, that I'll need to, what I wanted to do is take it apart and then immediately put it back together with a new part. But I'm going to take this apart now and see just how complicated it is, because I don't have, a diagram or schematic or anything like that. And if it's not logical and self-explanatory about where everything goes, then I won't take it apart any further. But if it's something that, you know, I'll be able to remember till tomorrow night when I get that headlight. I'll go ahead and take it apart. So I may set you up on the stand and I'll let you watch. All right, I'm gonna try and stay out of your way. I had to go find a cord for my phone and plug it in since this may be a long video. Oh boy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take this bracket off first. So let me, that looks like a 12. There's probably a 10 under there. I'm guessing. No. So that's a 12 under there. Yep. Well, I tell you, if I had taken a closer look at this before I ordered a new one, I might have tried to epoxy this. I swear that's plastic. Can't be, that can't be plastic. Huh. Boy, sure looks epoxyable. All right, let me see if I can pull this headlight bezel off, and I think that's number 6, number 5. That's a number 5. I don't see anything holding it on. Okay, there's these little slots here, and they fit up into these little clips right here. So that's easy to figure out. Now, the headlight's got a ring around it, and there's a Phillips head screw right here that I'll pull out. I might have got it too big a Phillips. No, it'll work. No, that's wrong. I think that's that is a alignment adjuster. Huh. There's a screw in the bottom here. I'm gonna try taking that out. And there's an Allen screw right here. I'm gonna take both of them out, just because they're probably gonna have to come out anyway. So let's just see if that loosens up. Doesn't feel like it. That doesn't feel like it moved anything, so let me try to get this screw out. It's a very short screw. Oh crap. I think something broke in there. I see something flopping around. Huh. Well, they did not make this easy, I'll tell you. It's not self-explanatory, that's for sure. Is there another screw that I'm not seeing? Yes, there is. Under here on this side, there's another Allen hex head. There we go. It's flopping around now. I got full floppage. Now let's see, I took something apart in here that left a piece floating around, so let me see what I did wrong. There's this piece. Okay. I'm gonna put it back together right now, and it goes something like this. Oh. All right, there's the headlight, but let me turn my back to you and fix this right quick before I lose that little tiny part. And it had red Loctite on it, so it was definitely not designed to come apart. Here's that screw that I thought released this, and it doesn't. So when I get everything, the new one put together, I'm probably going to have to adjust that to get the headlight to aim straight. I'll tell you what, I'm still confused as to how this headlight comes out. But the headlight works, so I won't need to take it out. All right, let's look at some wires in here. You know what? I tell you, this is so close to plastic, I don't even know if it's metal. Boy, there's a lot of stuff in there. Man, oh man, oh man. It's just plugs. Okay, and these are, well, they get these little fingers that are bent over, holding these wires back. So, I'll tell you what, I think I can pull everything apart. Boy, that is a lot of wires, I'll tell you what. All right, there's just a bunch of connectors in here that I will need to unplug. And I won't bore you with making you watch me unplug connectors. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe some more back there. So let me get them unplugged and we'll be right back. You would not believe how difficult that was. All those wires got to fit through that little hole. That was a lot of work getting them out, a lot of work. And this is absolutely, the entire thing is plastic. How do they get chrome to stick to plastic? I don't know. So, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. This is plastic, and I may try to epoxy this back together. I have some epoxy that I hold my knife handles together with. I'll tell you what, let me get the piece that broke off that bracket and see if there's any of that missing. If there's none of it missing, I'm gonna epoxy this back together, because that stuff I have that holds my knife handles on, that is some of the best epoxy known to man. So let me go get that part off. Okay, I got an idea. Just a second. Yes, I'm going to glue this, and probably send that part back, because this is going to work. Let me get a tiny little screwdriver. All right, I've drilled some 1/8 inch holes. This is the part that broke off right here. It will glue back on, but I'm gonna have to hold these very, very tight overnight. I've got some number 6 by 1.5 inch screws. I got a 3/32 drill bit, and what I'm going to do is take this drill bit, drill into the housing here. So these screws, after I get the epoxy on, I'll put this on, I'll put these screws in, and I'll tighten them both down and hold them really tight overnight and let this dry. And tomorrow I will have to come out with a drill bit, pull these screws back out, and I'll have to clean these holes up with a drill bit, because these rubber mounts that gotta go through these, and they're pretty snug. So the glue will ease out into these holes, and I'll take a drill bit and clean them up. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm gonna mix up some epoxy. Oh man, I'll tell you what, I'm glad I'm saving a little money on this. I wish I had taken this apart and looked at it before I ordered the new one. And the reason is, boy, have I spent some money on these bikes. I'm telling you, it's getting to the point where now it's starting to be a little uncomfortable. And if I can save this and send that back, that's really going to help me out. Before I get this mixed up, let me go ahead and drill these holes. And I'll tell you what, I'm probably even going to thread the screws in, just so I make sure that's going to work. Move this over here so you can see it. Now I'm going to get these threads started, just so I don't have to mess with it while I'm messing with the epoxy. I'll tell you what, they might be too long. I've got some shorter screws that are 1 inch long and not 1.5 inches. Yeah, I'm going to do that because I'm going to end up twisting these off in there. So I will be right back with some shorter screws. I'm glad I checked this. Come on. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and start the other one just so I can have that much done. Yeah, that's gonna work. Okay, that one's gonna be short enough. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drill deeper in that other hole just so I don't have to go get another screw. Because it's all the way down in my other shop. And this is not a walking body. Make sure it's got enough depth. You know what? This screw is bent. I'm gonna have to go get a screw. I'll be right back. Voila. Okay. All right, that's gonna work. All right, 50-50. Okay, here we go. Don't you just love fixing stuff? I don't know why it's so satisfying. I guess because part of me, I gotta admit, is I take pleasure out of cheating a man out of my hard-earned money. And, you know, you wouldn't know it based on my recent purchases, but I am a thrifty guy. And I try to make wise purchasing decisions, and when I do spend money, I try to spend it wisely. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's going to work. I'm so glad I decided to do this. I spent the money last night on buying my wife some extended risers, and they were $174 freaking dollars. So sending this the one back that I get tomorrow, I want you to see that. I'm just gonna suck it in tight. Oh yes, sir. All right, what I'm gonna do now is take some alcohol and clean up the glue that is squeezed out because it'll look like crap. I was in the middle of saying something. I don't know what I was saying. Now, I'm going to take another piece. I'm going to do the same thing to the inside of these holes. No, I can't do that. Never mind. I'll have to do that tomorrow. Okay. I will come out here tomorrow. See how tight that crack is? You can't even see there was a... Well, you can, but, I mean, it's really filled up nice with epoxy. And this is going to be behind a bracket, so you won't see it. I'm happy with that. Very happy. All right. I'm going to get to send that back tomorrow when I get it. So you will see this probably Thursday morning, because tomorrow I'll finish recording this when I put it back together. See you tomorrow. Okay, you're going down to the cage, and what are you going to do?
I'm going to release the quackins.
Release the quacking. I thought that was too funny not to share with YouTube.
I say that every morning. I'm going to go release the quackins.
And as soon as daylight comes, that duck, she starts to quacking until you come down there.
Well, she starts quacking at about 4.
Yeah.
I think that's after she lays her egg. She's like screaming, "Let me out, I laid my egg."
Do you know what today is? Today is the day I reassemble your motorcycle.
Like it had fallen apart, right?
And, well, you know, I've been... the headlight.
Right.
I got the headlight in my shop. And you're going to take a ride this afternoon, right?
Yes, if it doesn't bite me.
If it doesn't bite you or throw you off, buck you off. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. It is Wednesday morning. And we're going to go see how that headlight turned out. Let me get you on the tripod. All right. Man, it is warm and roasty toasty in here. I am going to pay for that when the light bill comes in. So, it's completely dried. Oh boy. Huh. I had some epoxy grab a hold of that screw. Oh, I hope I can get that screw out of there. How did that epoxy get way down there, man? Jeez. So let's see. Oh yeah, okay. That's good. All right. Let me make sure you can see that. Yeah. I just won't be able to move it much. I got you zoomed in. Well, that worked. Let me get the other one out. Okay, so what I've got is some little tiny mini files. And this is sort of an oval shape. And what I'm going to have to do is reach in here and try to file some of the epoxy out, because this is like 9/16 hole, and for the life of me I cannot find a 9/16 drill bit. When I moved over here, I had to move everything by myself, and I did lose. I lost some stuff. Some of the stuff I had to rebuy, like a fence for my bandsaw. And then later on, about a year later, when I finally got around to unpacking some stuff, I found the old fence. Well, it's not going to be so terrible. Tell you what, I'm going to put a little sandpaper on that. Let's see, I think 220 should do it. Yeah. Okay, I think that's going to work. Now I got to do the one on the bottom. It's been long enough that I feel like I can let you in on a little, I guess it's a secret. I have to take, I had my thyroid completely removed. Ever since that day, I have had such extreme anxiety about not being able to get the medicine that I have to take every single day. And this is not being overly dramatic when I say that if I don't take this medicine every single day, I will die. It's just that simple. And it'll be a very slow, unpleasant death. I will suffer, organ failure without my synthroid. So it has really played on my mind. And I finally, first I tried to get my doctor to prescribe me a bottle of 1,000. And I would pay for it outside my insurance. My insurance wouldn't pay for that much. But I didn't care. I'd pay for it. But he couldn't do it. And, he's a good doctor, and I didn't want to pressure him. And he said no, and I didn't beg or plead. So I finally found a pharmacy that heard my plea and sold me a bottle of 1,000 at my expense beyond my insurance. And you just don't know the relief, the instant relief I felt having 1,000 days of life left, And actually more than that, because I don't take 7, I take 6 a week, because And I may go, as soon as I lose more weight, I may go to taking 5 a week. And I skip Sunday because you have to keep your, I think it's called T3 levels at the correct level. And I take blood tests frequently to make sure that the levels are correct. And they adjust it accordingly. And as I lose weight, I'll need less and less. So I'm going to do a little bit more on the top hole here because I don't want to have to come back in here from my other shop. Plus, I don't want to go out in the cold until I absolutely have to. So why not spend a little extra time doing this right? Anyway, I found someone to sell me, and they told me that the only reason they were able to do it is because it's not a controlled substance, it's not an abused substance, and it fell in some sort of gray area that they weren't afraid to go into. And they understood the reasons why I was experiencing such anxiety. I told them, I said, I was a long-haul trucker my whole life. And I know that when riots and defunding the police break out in mass, that truck drivers are just not going to go to cities where their life or their equipment is in danger. I was a truck driver. I know. I mean, there was places I wouldn't go because they were just too dangerous. And it wasn't worth risking my equipment or my life. So he understood. And I got a bottle of 1000. So I'm saying that if there's anybody else out there that depends on a medicine, you might luck out and run across a pharmacist like I did that was willing to bend the rules a little bit and ease your anxiety. Okay, I think that's going to look good. I think those little rubber grommets, and what it is rubber grommets that fit in on each side of this, and when you squeeze this down, it holds them. I guess it's just like to keep, give it some shock absorbing. All right, this is 100% plastic, but it's got a very thin coating of copper on it and then chrome on top of the copper. How did they get copper onto plastic without melting the plastic? It's curious. All right, let's go to the mother shop and start putting this back together. All right, I have tried the rubber grommets and they all fit in them holes just fine. Now, this is a tiny little slot I got to get all these wires in. I think what I'm going to do is get the 2 biggest ones in first. Those are the hardest to get out, and then everything else and then I'll have to do this one because it's the next biggest one, and then the smaller ones were then I'll push this in and try to pull these in behind it, and then I'll go with that small one there, that one, and these 2. And boy, I'll tell you, there's a lot of assembly, and I'm thinking about just not filming this part because it's just going to be a whole bunch of me holding my tongue out the corner of my mouth, and it's just going to be, do you really want to watch that? It's not going to be interesting. Just a bunch of wires coming through a hole. When I get all the wires through the hole, then I'm going to mount this bracket that I took off of here, and I'm going to mount the headlight in the bracket, and then I'll turn when I get these in the headlight bucket, then I'll turn the camera on, okay? Because this is, with the camera on, it's gonna actually deny me the use of some important tools, and that's cuss words. So let me go ahead and get these in that headlight bucket, then I'll turn the camera on. Well, I don't know how, but that went in 10 times easier than it came out. So let's see here. Let me see if I can me get you set up to see what I'm doing here. All right. Okay, I think that's good. First thing I'm going to do is put that bracket, bolt that bracket back down here. Lordy, it's cold. Okay. Now I got to put these rubber bushings in here. Golly. Bad that I moved it. I'll have to get up and look. Okay, you're good. Oh, come on. Okay. All right, now I got to start. Let me reposition you. I'm going to try to keep my hands out of the way, but I'm going to move you over just a skosh, a wee bit, and then I'm going to lower you just a little bit. I'll try not to bump the tripod. All right, I'll try to keep my hands out of the way. Okay, this gets screwed in way in the back there. Honestly, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Okay, first things, these things snap into these. So let me see how I'm going to do this. Did it go that way? Huh. I think this is how it went. Like this. Yeah. And then it gets screwed in way back yonder. But these little keepers have to go in over the screws, because after it's all said and done, you got to push all the wires behind this and then bend these keepers over it. So let me get a screw caught. All right, probably gonna lose a screw here. Hold on, let me reposition some wires. Lord, good Lord. I think I can catch one. I can just catch one. The half the battle is over just catching a screw and not losing it. See, this is where the cuss words come in handy. Cuss words make everything go smoother. Did I? Huh. I did, all right. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't think I'm going to be able to plug these other ones into that. No, I'm not. I'm going to have to take these back out. How did they do this? Jeez. I don't know. All right, this one goes in here. I knew this was going to be hard. All right, that's clipped in. Gets clipped in here. All right, that's clipped in. So man, I am just totally stumped. Let me shut this off. This is gonna take me too long, and I'll be back. That was almost more trouble than it was worth. Man, oh man, oh man. I don't know how them little people get their hands in there to do that. Tell you what, before I do anything, let me. All right, all right. Okay. Alrighty then. Hard to know how tight to tighten these when you know you're tightening them on plastic. That's got to be it. All right, this one has two slots up here. You got to fit this into them slots. gotta figure this one out. All right. Boy. I have no idea why this is so difficult. I don't even know if I'm close to the hole. I need to use my camera to look up under here to see how far from the hole I am. Okay, I see what I did wrong. On the top of this headlight frame, just in here, there's this little tab that sticks down from the top, and there's this rubber grommet that has to fit up over that tab. And I had it up against that tab instead of over it, which made this thing mount with that screw here too close to the back. So the hole on the bezel wouldn't match up with that. Okay, we're good to go. Let me get that bezel on. Now it's a piece of cake. Oh, alrighty. So, you can't even see the repair. It's behind this bracket. So this is as good as new. You can see a little bit of leftover glue right there. But, all right, now what I'm gonna do, when she fell, the whole front tire went like this, which is what the grass grabbed a hold of this and snapped it off that way, and it grabbed a hold of her windshield, and it didn't break the windshield, but it bent the little forks that go over these tabs here. So I bent them all back, and now I'm going to get the windshield out, and I think I've got them all straight. Now I got to get these things here lined up, you know, properly like this and at the right height. And since I've let you watch everything else, I'll let you watch that. So let me set you off and get the windshield over here and turn you back on. Well, I went ahead and waxed all my fingerprints off of this, and then I sat on it. Do you see how crooked that headlight is? I'm going to tell you why. The metal bracket that it bolts to is bent. So the metal brackets are, you know, they're cheap. They're like 20 bucks. But I think what I'm going to do is move this back over to that corner there. And no, I won't. I can do it right here. I'm going to put a pry bar up under here and try to tweak it this way. I've got a cheater pipe and everything, and I'll let you watch that. We'll see if it comes back straight. I'll know in 2 seconds. Let me get you set up. All right. I don't want to go to tweaking too hard because I don't want to crack the plastic. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to put a little bit of pull on it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, that's it. I think I'm going to go just a little more. I believe that's it. I'll get on the bike again and look down. We'll see. It is much closer to being straight than it was. And I'll tell you what, I think what I may do now is loosen up the bolts that hold it that way, the cross bolts, loosen them up so I do not crack what I've fixed, and put one more little tweak on it, and I think it'll be 100% straight then. All right, let's have a look now. That is about as close to perfect as I can get it without a square and a level. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So let's just make sure everything's working. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're good. All right, now I'm gonna mess with the windshield. What I'm trying to do now is get these bottom clamps square. Actually, the top ones are the ones I want to get square, so. I got to get a pair of pliers to bend these. I knew I would have to do some minor tweaking, and that's what I want to have to do here. All right, let's get to the other side. All right, I think, yeah. All right, now I'm gonna take the windshield off and get these inner clamps tightened, and we're ready to ride. All right, it's gonna be hard to get them back on, but I don't take these off very often. Okay, let's just see. Yeah, something ain't right. What have I done? Huh. Okay, I see. There we go. All right, I knew it was going to be hard, but we're good. All right. We are going to clean this windshield up, and we're going to see if she can get on this bike and drive it a little bit around town without, you know, she's going to have some jitters. We'll see. All right, I just took it for a ride. It's as good as new. I think we're going to let it warm up some and maybe go ride around town a little bit.